What is up, guys? We're Williams, aka TheSwolefessor, education on health and social well-being. Welcome to episode 3 of the Essence of Powerlifting, the powerlifting prep series that I am doing, leading into my next meet, which will be May 25th here at Lone Star Strength, the Lone Star Classic in Saginaw, Texas. So, when I last talked to you guys, for me, it was just yesterday because we are still currently in my week 3 of the first week of the block. Last video you guys saw my SBD day, which, like I said, for me was yesterday, and today is my secondary bench day, which is like my secondary intensity bench day. Now, usually this day is on Monday, but due to the fact that I will be handling at the Arnold this weekend and that I'll be handling at all 3 sessions, the Raw Challenge, the Grand Prix, and the Pro Series finale, I will be completely busy all day Saturday. So my week 4 SBD needs to land on the Friday, which isn't ideal, but to kind of make it, as optimal as possible, we're just moving everything up by a day. So instead of this day being on Monday, I'm doing it today, and then that way I can do my day 3 on Monday, my day 4 on Tuesday, my day 5 on Wednesday, rest Thursday, then hit the week 4 SBD on Friday. And even though it's not ideal, I'm excited for that, just because Brad's going to also be there, which I think I mentioned last video, which means we get to kind of work on some things together in person. Anytime I get to work out with Brad in person, it's always a good time. There's always something he kind of sees or notices that I can maybe do to improve, or if everything's really, really good, then just hearing that directly in person as he's watching it in real time is always really good confirmation, validation for me when it comes to just being confident in my technique and my lifts. So we'll see how everything goes in regards to that. But considering the circumstances, this wasn't bad. Last week on this day, I hit 314 for my top triple. I only went up by 2.5 kg just because I knew I was gonna be smoked from yesterday, and because I usually have this day to rest before coming in. Originally, I was planning on maybe hitting anywhere from like 325 to 330 for the top triple, but since I knew that just wouldn't make sense to do with cutting out a rest day, I decided just to go up 2.5 kg just to kind of get the objective load stimulus needed to kind of keep the momentum going. And the good news is the rest of the days throughout this week should feel pretty good. Like, I knew this day would probably feel the worst, but everything else should get in a pretty good groove by the time we come into Friday. And then once we get through the Arnold on Saturday, everything will be back in the normal flow, leading all the way into my meet in May. So no issues there. But yeah, given the circumstances of the day, as well as the fact that I forgot my hyper Vs, I didn't bring my advances, so I was just like benching in my Js, everything still felt really, really good. Like, in terms of just staying locked in, keeping the position, trusting my ability to drive through. Like, I felt sore, I felt beat up. I didn't feel as light in my hands as it would if I did this workout tomorrow. But given the circumstances, I can't be mad at it. So we're gonna get these back downs, knock out these accessories, and just I think for this video, I just want to kind of take you guys through a few things this week before we actually get to the week 4 SBD. All right, guys, so it's just funny because literally I just did 2.5 more on my top set than what I did last week, and just 2.5 more on my back downs than what I did last week. It just felt so much harder, especially the back downs. Once again, I know the circumstances, I know why. It's just funny. It's funny. The reason why I'm laughing is because as a coach, right, when you're talking to your clients, you really try to explain to them, hey, listen, some variables matter more than others. Sometimes something might happen that doesn't usually happen, like, as far as your outside life variables. That's not going to have a huge impact on the training. You have to tell them, hey, don't get so in your head about it. Just go in there and execute. And there's going to be other times where something does happen, like my client Mackenzie, for example. She got sick with the flu, missed out on a whole week of training, so we had to kind of pick up where we left off. And then she came into her week 4 and actually did a lot better than what I actually expected her to, given the fact that we missed a week of training, had to kind of pick up where we left off. And then, you know, the fact that she was sick and was recovering from that, she did so much better than what I expected in terms of like the squat PR she hit and still being able to break into the 300s on the deadlift. But for her, she felt so disappointed because she didn't shift her expectations from what they were before she got sick, right? And, you know, we talked through it and we explained to her, like, hey, listen, this wasn't a small variable or small thing that happened. This wasn't like, oh, you missed a day of training, or like, oh, you were sick for a couple of days, like you were out for a week. It's going to play a role with things, right? So it's just funny because I'm now laughing, being like, yeah, for me, I know like shifting my days back and forward, especially with the bench press, not so much with the squat and deadlift, but it impacts my bench. So it's just funny because, like, you know, I tell you all the time, I practice what I preach, and that's part of why I like to show like these training videos and why I continue to stay consistent in the gym myself. But one, I still love it. I still have goals and powerlifting that I want to do, but also it's just really easy to connect with my clients and let them know that I'm not BSing them when I say, hey, listen, this doesn't matter so much. Hey, this does matter so much, and I'm showing you the evidence of it with myself. But with that being said, we still about to get this work with these accessories, you know what I'm saying? We still about to get that craftsmanship, you know what I mean? So yeah, like it's just like with the bench, if I have to only go up 5-10 pounds what I did last week for my accessories, cool. But I'm gonna still push and do what I need to do. I'm not going to slack, right? In the sense of I adjust my expectations for what I can do today, but I'm still gonna give 100% effort into what I can do today. So that's the goal when it comes to adjusting your expectations and still going in and executing with intention. But let's turn some music on. Let's get this work. All right, we're done for the day. And everything felt great, and I did in fact progress on every single movement in terms of load. And it's just cool because things are set up in such a way now to where I know what the intention is on every movement, and I also just have different ways of progressing things based upon what the goal is, right? Like with some of my bigger movements, it might be like a heavier top set, then a couple back down sets after that, right? Some of my other movements, it might be ascending RPEs, where, okay, that was too light, so I can go up the weight each time, or if it's like, okay, that was pretty hard, so I can maintain the same weight across all sets, knowing that the RP will get harder each time. Other stuff really might be like, okay, this is all kind of staying around the same RPE, but I'm trying to just steadily increase the load over the weeks within the blocks. Lots of different ways to go about it, and if that's something you guys are interested in as far as like just learning the different ways to maximize programming your accessories, then I highly suggest checking out the 3-part series that Steve Denovi and I just finished up on Powerlifting Now. You guys should already know by now that's where most of my more in-depth informative content is going to be on. You have to subscribe to Powerlifting Now. But that's a 3-part series. The first video was from me, and it's all about how to periodize your accessories correctly to maximize progression on the big 3, because you can't look at bench, squat, and deadlift workload separate for your accessories. It all has to work together to get the desired result that you're looking for. Then part 2 is Steve Denovi's video over different programming strategies for accessory work to get the desired result you want from it, which is kind of what I'm talking about right now as far as like the different ways to program it, like ascending sets, top sets, back downs, load progression, and reps, and like what type of system and structure works so that you can get what you want out of it versus being passive. And then the third part of the video, which at this point should be out released on March 1st, is just a tutorial video from me where I actually take you guys through a handful of accessory movements that I think are kind of like the most important for powerlifters and how to actually do them correctly to get the most bang for your buck from the standpoint of both hypertrophy as well as from the standpoint of powerlifting, like just having a carryover like to the big 3 lifts. But anyway, yeah, I'm very happy. Like I feel good. My goal, man, is to be the most jacked I have ever been when I get on the platform here in about 13 weeks. Like technically I already was this past meet in January. I was like 175, but that was post getting 6. You know, your boy wasn't feeling quite as full as he's feeling now. Body weight's back where it needs to be too. I'm chilling around like 176, 177. We'll see where we're at by meet day. But yeah, that's all I got for today. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
They don't know what it's like to be the man forever. Like to have these days forever. They don't know what it's like to have these days forever. They don't know what it's like to have this plan forever. Yeah.
Hey man, I'm be real with y'all. I don't feel like being here right now. I don't feel like doing this. I very rarely have days where I just don't feel like training. I'm just very tired from the past few days. Been doing a lot between like, you know, Michael's bachelor stuff, different things with Laura, with my wife Amber, as well as just some stuff that I'm dealing with on the back end on like kind of like a personal level, which maybe I'll share with you guys. Maybe I won't. Well, maybe once I get confirmations of things, which should happen Wednesday, then maybe I'll share with you guys. But whether I do or not, I'm dealing with stuff, and it's like, man, I don't want to be here, let alone loading this weight. But I know what I need to touch on this day, especially on the week 3 to set me up for week 4. So even though everything's a day early, I'm feeling a little bit beat, and then mid-day I just want to be here, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna lock in, I'm gonna knock the set out, and I'm gonna approach it with the same intentionality I would of like a primary day, right? Like the load is different, obviously. The stimulus is different, but the intentionality needs to be the same. So let's get this work. All right, guys, so got through squats, and I'm happy. I'm very happy with that set. As far as top set, back downs felt good. Doing a really good job of just being consistent with, letting the hips break in conjunction with the knees, since a lot of people have the habit of like sitting back excessively before the knees break. I sometimes can let the knees track pretty far forward before I let those hips do what they need to do. So just keeping that timing on point. And really, I'm not even like thinking about it. It's just, that's how in groove with the movement I feel right now, which is great. And yeah, I can't afford to slack on my squats no matter how I'm feeling, right? Because the fact of the matter is like, out of the people I'm competing against at this meet, only 2 of them outbench me. Only 2 of them outpull me. And the 2 that outpull me, I outbench, right? So what that means is the vast majority of people that have a big lift over me, right, more than just a couple, it's the squat. Now, I'm not expecting to suddenly come up and like overtake any of them on the squat, but I need my squat to be strong enough. I need to make enough progression on the squat so the gap's not so wide to where by the time bench comes around, I can get about where I need to be to close the gap completely, and then it just comes down to deadlifts and executing on the pull. So that's why, even though I wasn't feeling it, I just kept reminding myself of that, like, hey, bro, Josh out-squats you, Michael out-squats you, both Brian's out-squat you, JD out-squats you. You know what I mean? Like, I can't afford to lax on anything, but especially that lift. So yeah, really happy with that. Next, we got our nice easy 3x3 on deadlifts. Let's get it done. All right, deadlifts felt great. It's funny because just last episode, I told you guys that the setup feels good. I was trying to find consistency of exactly where my foot is relative to the bar because I'm behind midfoot, but how far back do I need to be? And today I found that spot exactly on the first set. And I know I've marked where it is based upon like where it is relative to my shoe, the L run that I wear. Like I know like, okay, if the bar is right between this part of the shoe, this part of the shoe, money. It felt fantastic. So I'm really excited. Just in time to, obviously going into this upcoming week 4. Once again, I don't have my top set back yet, but it will be the heaviest that I've done for my 4x1 with this this current setup, and I think it's gonna go really, really well. So yeah, great session so far today. Like I said, and it's so funny because I came in here not feeling like being here, but now I'm feeling good. I'm feeling energetic, and I'm feeling very happy that I came in. And honestly, that's a big part of why I enjoy doing the YouTube content, man. It's like, because I don't have to at this point, right? Like I could easily just keep putting all the in-depth informative stuff on Powerlifting Now, which, I'm actually getting paid for doing that, right? But one, as I told you guys time and time again, I would not be where I'm at as far as the coaching if not for YouTube, or rather if not for the grace of God and the way that he allowed me to use YouTube to get to this point. But it's also the fact of like, one, I still want to put out the content that I think is helpful for you guys, whether it's shorter informative videos or, showing my training and breaking down the why behind it, but also it's just good for me. Like, y'all are a big source of motivation for me to not slack. It's like, yo, I'm recording this. Like, I got to get the work in. Like, don't get me wrong, even on my sessions that I don't record, which is most of them, I'm still coming in and getting that work regardless. But it's just like, even though y'all aren't going to see this until it's uploaded, it's like, in my mind, y'all are watching it right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I gotta go in because I know that you guys are going to hold me accountable, man. I'm very grateful for that. Like, real talk, those of you who have been with me from the start or you came at any point over the past few years who continue to watch, support the content, thank you so much. It means the world to me. I can honestly say I wouldn't be where I'm at in my career if not for all of you, so I appreciate it. Anyway, let's get these lower body accessories done. So y'all can see I just did my ascending build-up sets of 10. Started with 608, 628, and finished with 658 for my top set of 10 banded belt squats. And it's cool because I know Josh has belt squats today, so I'm gonna wait for him to come in and see what he does, see if he leaves it on there, if he takes it off, you know what I mean? And if he takes it off, I'm gonna let him know, hey man, that squat ain't gonna stay above mine for long if you start slacking. So we're gonna see what he does. That was me, boy. Now it's gotta be you. It's gotta be you. Okay, okay. That's what I want to see. I was telling the people, I was like, if I go to the census, I want to see if nothing comes in. I want to see if he's started or not. If he takes it off, I'm gonna talk my shit, but if you don't, then respect, you know what I mean? I tried. No, I know you got it. I know you got it. Come on, sir, we're trying to work. Okay. There you go. Yes, sir. Come on now. Nice. Come on, Josh. There we go. Yes, sir. That 600 squat. Come on. There you go. Okay. Okay, sir. Woo. That's what I'm about. That's heavy. That's what I'm talking about. Alright guys, so you just saw me knock out my ascending 3x8 close grip bench. Everything felt good, and 2.5 kilos more on each set than what I did last week.
And it's so funny because as the weight gets heavier, I know what I can do in terms of reps in reserve. It does go down, but it just feels better. I feel more in room, which is why this day is set up that way with those ascending sets compared to before when this day was me just hitting a top set then back downs. I wouldn't feel pretty good until the back downs, whereas with this, when I get to that heaviest exposure of the day, it feels really good. Just a nice way to bridge the gap between my day 1, day 2 bench and then going into the day 4 bench tomorrow. But yeah, really happy with that. As far as accessories, yeah, I mean, you guys already know from a couple videos ago what all I do on this day. I'm just going to show you all the weighted dips. We got 110 pounds right here, which will be a volume PR for 3x12 and weighted dips. Mainly just because it's the longest that I've pushed 12s. You guys know when I'm pushing like those lower rep ranges, like my best set of 3 is 225 on weighted dips. My best set of 5 is 215. So the goal right now is just to get the 12s to like the mid 100s, and then from there I'll be able to gauge if I think it's possible to get it to like the upper 100s or even the 200s, or if I need to start understanding the reps down. But right now it's going really, really well, so I'll take you guys through a set or two of that. And yeah, I'm feeling good. It's funny, my my lower body feels smoked just from pushing the bell squat and legs and leg curls really hard yesterday. But it was cool, man. Like, you know, seeing Josh come in and I was like, hey man, I did it, you got to do it, and seeing him push himself and being motivated that way. And that's what's so cool about this is like, I can honestly say all of us who are doing this meet, at least as far as I'm talking about the 82.5 kg weight class, we're all very intrinsically motivated, but just that little bit of external push when you don't really feel like pushing, but you see everyone around you doing it is awesome. Like iron sharpens iron. Anyway, let's get through these dips, and I'll quickly take y'all through tomorrow's workout with the SSB and the long pause bench and all that. And then we'll be in Columbus, Ohio for the week 4 SPD.
I had to dodge the wrangle with 7 bricks in the car seat like an infant. I'm a cook indefinite, I'm heaven sent. Shit get dirtier than Bill laying bed with the Pistons. I dropped a 10 for my dog, they gave him 20. When he touched back down, his baby gon' be 20. Hold your head, we gon' build a bassinet out of hundreds. He said it's bunky as a nigga.
Long way, went from Huey to Eddie Munson. I've been so disconnected, my perspective is ignorant. Maybe these niggas don't want to correct you. Say something crazy, they won't interject. Do every drug that you want, they gon' let you. Dangerous when there's nobody to check, and I be out to check myself. Niggas stop hoarding that money, you know we got plenty. I be out to spread my wealth. I used to be at the crib myself. 7 years old, I'm a rap with a raw, with a bag of the raw. They gon' stand on the corner, one hand on the ball, and they ran with the cops, don't gag with the law. And I'm packing on the bag, and I'm trapped in the door.
All right, guys, so you can see we are here in Columbus, Ohio at Beyond Limits Gym. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know this is where we always train here for the Arnold weekend. And things are going well. I had a range of about like 240 to 245, so 529 to 540 for the day. Went with the 529 just for one, it being a day early, being on the plane yesterday, traveling, all that. But it moved really well. I'm finding a good balance of like having tension and control into the hole, but not being so rigid to where I can't kind of get like that proper bounce out of the hole. So that's feeling really, really good. You know, got Coach Brad here in person to watch and observe everything, which is really, really helpful, obviously. And then, of course, Brian, who is my client and also one of the ops, is here as well. And it's funny because we hit the same weight today, but it's my week 4 and his week 3. So he's set for a big PR next week. And like I said earlier in this video, it's exactly why I can't slack on my squat, because it's the main lift that my competition at this meet have me beat on. So definitely gonna be building some things up. And there's a couple of changes, well, not even so much change, but like adjustments that we're gonna make probably to my secondary day in the next block. And I'll probably tell you guys about that later. But for right now, top set squats went well. We'll get to the back downs and then see how the rest of the session goes. There you go. All right, guys, so as you can see, we changed room and changed benches just because they have the very old, very worn, I mean, it's been the same TSS bench that's been here like since the first Arnold I came to years ago in like 2019. So they're very slick, very slippery, and at this point, that's crazy. And at this point, even for both Brian and I, on one red, as we were just coming down, we completely slipped. So just not worth it. We knew we wouldn't be able to get up to any decent load on that. So we came to the benches in here, which are definitely better as far as the bench itself. But due to the awkwardness of the rack height, like
it's a little bit too low for me, but if we put it one up higher, it's way too high. So just went that and got a lift off. And it's weird because I'm able to get like a higher arch on this bench, but that's not necessarily the best for me because I know in general on any type of bench, if I arch too much, then it's almost like I don't have enough room to load to really drive off the chest, right? So I kind of accounted for that and tried to arch a little bit less, but it's just kind of hard to gauge on a whole new bench. But arms are still moving well, and 315 moved very well. So I was like, okay, I did 352 last week on a normal bench with kilos, or normal bench for me, and I was like, my original intention was to come in here and do like around 375. So I was like, okay, let's just do 365 to be safe, or at least what I think is 365 based upon the plays they have here. And just the same thing where it's like setting up feels awkward on my shoulders, even with the lift off, like getting into my proper position. And the control of the chest feels good, but as far as being able to push up and back, it's like I'm just not in the position to do so. So 315 ended up being the top set for the day. And just to be safe, because once again, I can feel it in my rear delts whenever I'm not in my proper position, just went with 265 for the back downs, which is, of course, moving very smooth and easy. So not mad about it. I already knew, like I told Brad, like before when we said, hey, we're going to be training a day early, going to go to the usual gym and be on limits, I was like, yeah, bench is going to be screwed. I already knew it was, so I'm not mad about it. The good news is I felt strong today. Like the equipment side, I felt strong. So I know that the heavier exposures we're doing on bench leading into my week 4 is working. Just got to keep it going and be on proper equipment next time, which I will be for the rest of prep. As far as, the back downs, like I said, they feel like nothing. That's why I know I'm good to go. I'm just playing it safe on the lows just to take it easy. But yeah, all in all, so far good day on squats. Still a decent day on bench. We'll see how pulls go.
All right, so we're gonna pull this again. Again, same thing. It's just about keeping those hands as patient as he can, as long as he can, so that he can really let that wedge work in. All right, so a little bit of heel pressure for him. Not a ton, perfect. Feet are still down, good. He can set his hands, they're gonna be loose as long as he can. As he wedges, he's gonna go up. There it is. There we go. Nice, look great. And that allows him to, like I said, fire his knees and hips at the same time. He doesn't feel like he has to overly pull back into the bar. It allows him to really compress into the bar as much as he can to get that bar going up. Patience, come on, trust it.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, the lockout feels like nothing yet. There you go. Yeah, that was it. Yep. Nice. Right. Oh my goodness. Half a second longer wedge. Okay? Trust it. Half a second longer. Split second longer. There it is. Nice.
All right, so we are back at the Airbnb, and today was honestly really good, especially given the circumstances. Like, squats, really can't be mad at that, like especially with this being like a longer, almost 6-week build and not having as much intensity as I typically would going into, my heaviest squat as far as like just how long it's been since I've touched something heavier. I already know these next few blocks are gonna be great, especially with the adjustments that Brad and I plan to make on my secondary day, which we'll probably talk about that on the next episode. As well as like, probably go ahead and give you guys some updates on what I mentioned in this video earlier with some personal life stuff that came up, and I, got final results with that. So I'll probably share that with you guys next episode as well, just so you can kind of know, like, where my headspace kind of was going into this session, and the prep as a whole, and why I'm now like, just really grateful and at peace and thanking God for just the result of where everything is at. But as a whole, yeah, today's session was still good for being a day early, on equipment that I'm not used to usually being on as far as the bench, stuff like that. It was really, really solid. And I'm so happy with how deadlifts are going. Like, just the new positions getting more and more comfortable every single time. You guys got to see a couple of clips of, Brad taking Brian out through some stuff, which we're doing to for some of the demoing for the video that he's going to be releasing as a guest speaker on Powerlifting Now later this year. And it's just so dope, man. Like, the reason why I love working with Brad is because he makes me a better lifter and a better coach. Almost no matter what. Like, you know, if he's, you know, if I ask him a question, right, as a coach to another coach, he can give me a good answer, which of course makes me a better coach. And then of course him coaching me, right, makes me a better lifter. But even the inverse is true. Like, when he gives me something that's meant to help me as a lifter, it helps me become a better coach, because when I learn and grasp it as a lifter, it then makes me go back and think, okay, you know, I think this actually worked really well for some of my clients, right? And at the same time, when he's talking to me, like, you know, as a coach, right, like just like bouncing ideas each other as coaches, sometimes in our conversations, I'll be thinking about stuff and I was like, oh, you know what? That would make a lot of sense for me from a lifting perspective. We're talking about something technique-wise, programming-wise, whatever it may be. So I'm very, very grateful, because from the time I've been working with Brad since the end of 2019, he has done nothing but just elevate me in all ways. Not just in terms of like as a lifter, but, you know, as a coach, as a person. He's also, you know, a father himself. So it's just been really, really cool to see like the growth over the years between us as coach and client and as friends. And I'm also just very grateful, because anytime I'm in the same room as him, I always learn something or pick up on something, right? Because he just has that eye for seeing certain things from a movement technique perspective. Even Brian got to see the benefits of that today with himself as well. So it's really, really cool. At the same time, you know, it's this thing where it's like, hey, bro, don't help the ops too much. No, I love it, because honestly, anything that he's doing that's helping me, that then I use to help Brian, or if he does something to help Brian like directly, even though it's like as a coach, I'm very grateful for it, because like, hey, this is helping my lifter. But as a lifter myself, it's motivating, because it's like, okay, I know no stones being left, you know, unturned with Brian or any of my clients. So I can't leave any stone unturned with myself, right? So it was just cool. It was really, really cool to kind of like have like, hey, I'm training with my coach, I'm training with my client, you know, like how the whole coach tree thing kind of works. So it was a good time. It was a really good time. Energy was really, really good. It was really cool to see some people at the Bellman's gym that, you know, I only get to see like once a year. It's always really dope. And then meeting new people who appreciate the channel is always awesome. So shout out to all of you who came up and, you know, said hi and everything like that. It always makes my day. It truly does. But yeah, that's pretty much it, I think, overall. Like, it's been a nice full week of training that you guys have been able to see. And your boy is tired. Like I said, it's Friday. We're here in Columbus, Ohio. Tomorrow I'm handling all day for the Raw Challenge in the morning, the Grand Prix midday, and then the Pro Series finale in the evening, hence all the the bands they got me wearing. But I'm looking forward to it. I think all my clients are going to show out, and I'm very, very excited for that. And I'll probably recap a little bit of that in the next episode as well. But that is pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go leave a comment down below. Let me know what you did. If you know, leave a comment down below. Let me know what can be better. Like the video, share, subscribe. Keep it simple, specific, scientific. I'll catch you guys later.